Good afternoon and welcome to another episode of Bardic Inspiration. Today, as you can tell from our Zoom screen order, things are shuffled around a bit. My name is Dylan and I am coming to you live from the isolated but well air-conditioned in a heat wave streaming closet here at Codium Entertainment in beautiful Victoria, BC, Canada. Shout out to our moderator / co-producer Jay, as well as our executive producer Erica for helping keep the show running. As well, I have guests. I should probably unmute. Welcome, writer extraordinaire Jim Zub and the man who makes this show work in every way, Jason.
Allegedly.
More
like a legend.
Allegedly. I'll take that.
Yeah. And today we are taking on the task of writing a song for Minsc and Boo.
My gosh.
Yeah.
It's been a long time coming. Yeah, this is some epic stuff coming up now. Yeah. It's been so much fun watching you guys develop these. I got to tell you, it's been just amazing seeing them all come together. And Jason's depth and breadth of his skills never to amaze me.
Well, trying sooner or later, one of these days, I'm just gonna run out of depth and breadth. But we'll keep going until we do, I guess.
Nice.
You actually stopped by during the Shandy episode.
I did. I popped into the chat. I was just sort of lurking about in the text there, offering some suggestions. And I felt it feels weird, because you're like talking about a character that I created. And it was so cool, though, to see that come together. Max Dunbar and I, put together a cast of heroes along with Minsc and Boo. For those, I guess, people who may not know, because the character's kind of taken on this sort of ubiquitous. Like Minsc and Boo are now kind of larger than their legend. It's sort of amazing.
For sure.
Yeah. They are characters originally from a series of video games called Baldur's Gate and Baldur's Gate 2. And hopefully they'll be appearing in the forthcoming Baldur's Gate 3. And they're these cult characters that they're not a major part of the narrative necessarily in that video game, but they had such distinct personalities and they were so bombastic, and the voice acting by Jim Cummings is so sharp and hilarious that it just sort of took on a life of its own. And that really in the original games, for those of you who haven't played them, your characters are very, very tiny, kind of pixelated. There's just a single portrait there, and then all the personalities coming across from those audio files. And so those lines that they came up with were so distinctive and ridiculous.
Right. And Jim Cummings has gone on. I mean, I don't know if he was a legend at that time, but he's now voiceover now.
Yeah, it's crazy. And the funny thing is too about that party of adventurers, the pre-gen characters in Baldur's Gate were all characters that they were playing like in the office that as they were developing Baldur's Gate. So that was like their home campaign that they essentially turned into canon D&D characters. Now in the timeline, the Forgotten Realms has moved forward hundreds of over 100 years since then. Mm-hmm. And so we found a way to bring Minsc and Boo back into the current Forgotten Realms as part of this actually right here, the Legends of Baldur's Gate comic series, which is the first comic they did for 5th edition D&D, right as it was launching in 2014. And so we found a cute way to sort of bring them back into current continuity, hook them up with a new crew of adventurers that Max Dunbar and I came up with. And that's where Shandy came from, Delina and Neris and Krydal, like all kinds of these characters now that are in Idle Champions and have appeared in a bunch of other kind of D&D products since then. So it's just it's very cool, and to kind of have them riding Minsc and Boo's coattails with new adventures all the way around. It's a real pleasure to be a part of.
Usually, so normally for our episodes we kick off with whichever piece of music was the last one we created.
Oh, you should totally do that.
Yeah,
I totally want to hear that. Oh, big time.
Yeah. Aaron helped out a lot in helping us put this one together. So
amazing.
You want to give a little bit of a backstory, Dylan?
Yeah. So, Brimstone Angels Go 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 seems to be what the title has turned into.
That's amazing.
Kind of alternating back and forth from the points of view of the two different tiefling sisters that the books are about. Um, and so they both have a slightly different perspective on a series of events, and it's kind of a what is it? It's like a punk pop.
Yeah, exactly. It's like it's pop punk.
That's awesome.
Like early 2000s pop punk. What we do on the show is, the quickest way to write a song is with like one instrument and a voice, right? And so since our show's only 2 hours, we find the quickest way to we often finish the song. Sometimes we don't, and Dylan and I finish it off camera. But someone once said the best way to know if a song is truly good or not is if it sounds good with just a guitar and a voice. So that's the philosophy we've taken with this show. So you need to imagine the drums and the bass and the electric guitar in this, but that's the style that I think we felt pretty quickly across the board when we were starting it that this would be. Mm-hmm. So, and with that, here we go. I met the devil. It was a cold and stormy day. I was slightly disheveled, but I felt the spark there anyway. He taught me Eldritch Blast, and I was sure this love would last. They all told me no, but he's the devil that I know. But now we're on the road, and we got so far to go. Brimstone angels bound together, here to run the show. We'll hunt down all your foes, punch them in the nose. Brimstone angels stand together, go, go, go. When I summoned the devil, it was such a boring day. He wasn't that special. I was glad to walk away. When we got kicked out, needed me to bail you out. I raised my glaive and sent devils to their grave. Now we're on the road, and we got so far to go. Brimstone angels bound together, here to run the show. Hunt down all your foes, punch them in the nose. Brimstone angels stand together, go, go, go. Run someone before we find ourselves. From the mountain peaks to the lowest dungeon hell, I'll have your back through all of the 9 hells, best sisters. But now we're on the road, and we've got so far to go. Brimstone angels bound together, here to run the show. We'll hunt down all your foes, punch them in the nose. Brimstone angels stand together, go, go, go. Brimstone angels stand together, go, go, go.
Great stuff. So awesome, Jason. That's amazing. Aaron's got to be thrilled with that. That is so cool.
It seemed like she had a pretty good time. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Really made her cry.
Yeah. Excellent. That's what you need.
Oh yeah.
Cool, man. So you are going to do a full version of these, right? For an album, you're just going to put together
eventually, I think that's kind of the idea that like
would be
a few that we really like, we'll actually like record them for real.
That would be sweet. That would be awesome. I want to see these all on one very exciting album. That would be pretty badass. So Minsc, Minsc and
Yeah.
Boo. I mean, their legend is so large now. The good news is you have just like, I think almost, I don't know if it's quite Strahd level, but you definitely have a bevy of quotes and like isms that you can use to build a song around. That's for sure.
That would be, that would be really great. I mean, because so like a lot of people, I was exposed to Minsc and Boo in Baldur's Gate,
Mm-hmm.
and then in Baldur's Gate 2 when they added, Jim Cummings' voice. I mean, it was just like, oh, this is the best.
Oh, it's killer. It's just those quotes were so great. And what was amazing about it was they had a bunch of these contextual quotes. Like if you would put Minsc in particular armor or items, he would say certain things, or if he got a critical or, stuff like that, that just felt like it just added so much joy to the character. And getting the chance to write him in the comics and kind of build on that voice and trying really hard not to just use the classic pull quotes, because that's the danger where they just become that one stereotypical line over and over again. And you're like, okay, we have to save those very special kind of moments. What can we do? What's his sort of speech pattern, and what's his sort of approach that we can create new stuff that sounds like Minsc, that feels like Minsc, but isn't just, it's like if you write the Thing for the Fantastic Four, at some point he needs to say it's clobbering time, but that's not all he says. Like that can't just literally be like, or I'm writing Conan the Barbarian. And the one thing I've tried hard really not to do is use the word crom too much, because it's like,
I mean, you want to use it once or twice, but
he does say it, but that isn't literally, you don't just hit him in the back of the head and he spits the word crom out. Like it has to be there at some point, but for emphasis rather than it just being the go-to every single time. And
usually
I think a lot
of hit me in the back of the head, though, you do yell crom.
You do yell crom. Yeah, absolutely every time. But I think that's kind of the key, is if you can find a character's voice and personality. I explain to people that almost all the writing I do is role playing. That without D&D, I wouldn't be a writer, because I'm always trying to get into the character. I'm always trying to imagine what they're going to say or what they're going to do in this circumstance. And even if I know where the plot's going, particularly a character like Minsc and Boo, they will yank it in a different direction. They will make sure it goes their way, because that just feels appropriate to the task at hand, and that's kind of the joy of those kinds of big characters. I mean, Minsc he's kind of the original Leroy Jenkins. He's the character that kicks down the door and goes and gets the adventure. He's really easy to write for in a lot of ways, because he is so boisterous. Like, it's literally, even if he just suspects something is evil, he's going to kick down the door and have a big boisterous moment, and then everyone else has to kind of react to it, which is so much fun, because he's all like swing a sword and ask questions later kind of stuff, which is always a fun character to have in any group lineup, although dangerous for party cohesion, but what the hell, right?
Well, on the note of boisterous, what genre of music that is perfectly embodied by acoustic guitar and vocals?
Oh man,
I mean, we can always imagine whatever it could be. It's kind of like I mean, I'll certainly take your guys' lead on this too, but
sure,
we could go anywhere between like the Ballad of Boo.
Right. Well, that's the thing, that in Minsc's mind, the hamster is as important, perhaps more important than himself, right? Which is kind of the joy of it. So for people who don't know, Minsc has this companion hamster, which he calls his miniature giant space hamster, which is a great throwback to Spelljammer, which actually has giant space hamsters. And so there's always the question of, is Boo actually a miniaturized giant space hamster, or is he just a regular hamster? And Minsc, who seems to have memory problems and kind of keeping track of things problems and consistency problems at the best of times, maybe he's just imagining, and yet Boo seems extremely capable and highly intelligent. And so you always kind of play it both ways. You want to be able to leave some plausible deniability in the mix, which I think is really fun too. Probably one of the most fun scenes I got to put together in the comic was in Frost Giant's Fury. They're fighting giants, and Minsc gets a potion of giant growth, and it gets broken and spilled, and Boo drinks the potion, the puddle on the floor, and becomes a miniature giant space hamster, which was just one of those things that kind of came to me, and I was like, well, that has to get its way in there. So
what if the song is from Boo's point of view, about his friendship with Minsc? Like, he spent all his time traveling the cosmos.
Chat's going crazy saying Space Hamster Blues.
Space Hamster Blues is pretty good.
Yeah, I'm down with that, because I think that, like, maybe it's not a song about Minsc so much as the song that Minsc is singing in his head to Boo all the time.
Oh my gosh, the Ballad of Boo is good. Yeah, Space Hamster Blues are like some sort of weird, like the hamster's perspective, and it's almost funnier if Minsc is maybe some of his sayings get worked into it, but it's not necessarily about him. I don't know. There's something, that's what's funny about Minsc. He is simultaneously 100% assured of his own heroism and their legendary nature, but also kind of oblivious to everything going on around him, which is sort of his power as well. And it's a lot of fun to write. It's a lot of fun to play. I played Minsc in D&D Live last year, which was absolutely insane. And Matt Mercer played Boo the hamster, which was like the most like strangest, most amazing thing. Chris Perkins was the DM, and when he sent that email to me, he's like, "Would like for you to come, be part of D&D Live and play on the main stage." I was like, "Great. Would you be willing to play Minsc?" And I was like, "Oh my God, that'd be such an honor." And then he was like, "I think I want Matt Mercer to be Boo." And you're like, okay, so you've got this brilliant role player, dungeon master, voice actor, and you're going to take his voice away. And he's going to play second fiddle to a guy who's never played D&D Live on stage. This is going to be great, or a disaster, or both. And thankfully it all kind of worked out. It was a real good time. Yeah, that's what's great about it. I think you could totally do a song that's just like the adventures of Boo, or Boo trying to keep things held together, or Boo being the logical one while Minsc charges off to disaster over and over again. There's so many ways you can take that.
And as
but the one thing that constantly Minsc is talking about fighting evil, like they're against evil. They're about butt kicking. They have to kick butt for goodness, which is a total classic. Butt kicking for goodness is one of those classic lines. I'm trying to think of other ones from the game. So there's also what is it? Magic is impressive, but now Minsc leads. Swords for everyone, which was like, I love the swords for everyone line. That's such a ridiculous one. The classic one, of course, is "Go for the eyes, Boo," which is like, the battle cry when he throws the hamster, which is the best.
Or when the hamster does a double backflip and flips the bird off.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. That was super classic as well. That was so much fun. My favorite part of that, Max Dunbar did a sketch of that, of Boo flipping the birds and doing the backflip, which is amazing. What does he say? He goes, God, I memorized so many of these lines, and most of them never came out in the game because I didn't just want to be the guy spouting all the lines.
You point, I punch. I remember that.
You point, I punch. Yeah. There is strength in numbers, and I am 2 or 3 at least. It's so good. Butt kicking for goodness is probably one of the best. Full plate and packing steel. That's a total classic one right there. They're so good. One of my favorite lines I came up with, I was super proud of this one. They're fighting these bad guys in Legends of Baldur's Gate, and someone says, "Kill him quickly," and then he responds, he goes, "Kill me slowly or not at all," which felt like a very, very Minsc line. So,
Squeaky wheel gets the kick.
Squeaky wheel gets the kick is another absolute classic. That one is super good. A den of stinking evil, and he always puts this like crazy amount of emphasis. A den of stinking evil. Yeah. He's got so many good lines. They're amazing.
All right. Well, what I'm wanting, so it's either, to me, it's okay. Either way, it's like, what could be funnier? Like the ballad where it's just sort of like Boo is just listing off the crazy things that Minsc does, like in a ballad form. Like, why does he do these things?
Why must I clean up after, and yet he's my best friend?
Right.
Could be fun.
Yeah. Or the blues route. I mean, I'm hoping for either way.
The Space Hamster Blues is kind of fun. Like, this is him. He's now trapped on the Forgotten Realms, and this is his lot in life, or like.
That could be, Space Hamster Blue. Either the Ballad of Blue or Space Hamster Blue. Ballad of Boo or Space
Hamster Blues. They're both pretty great.
We've already. I mean, the only thing that's leaning me towards blues is we haven't done a blues song yet.
Right.
And we have done a ballad already. So
right.
I'm okay with Booze Blues. That's a good one.
The Booze Blues is good.
Yeah,
I like it. So. Yeah. So so what's that song about then? It's about your best friend is constantly trying to get you killed. Is that this? It's sort of like a
yeah.
Your best friend is literally like charging off a cliff or jumping off a tower full of skeletons, or like just all this crap, right? Like, and you've got to be the calm one. Like, you've got to be the one to kind of pull it all together, or you're the one that finds a healing potion or wakes him up after he gets knocked unconscious for the 50th time, right?
Well, and most blues songs tend to be from the point of view of the storyteller. You know what I mean?
Right.
The singer. So like, I got this, or I got that, or this happened to me, or that happened to me.
Yeah.
So like our first line should definitely like establish that.
Spend some time on Toril.
Nice. Spend some time on Toril, or you could have like a a hamster's life is never dull, or something weird like that. So you establish that this is from the hamster's point of view, right?
Sure. Yeah. Or I mean, that could even be like the refrain or the tag,
Yeah. You could do some fun things where you can sort of work in Minsc's lines, but it's like he's telling you that he said this or whatever, I point, he punches, like stuff like that. Like, that could be kind of fun.
Yeah, definitely.
The squeaky wheel gets the kick is a pretty good chorus or something, because he's the squeak, and like sort of, you could do something fun about that. Butt kicking for goodness, of course. It's so weird. This hamster song is going to be it's almost like spoken word in spots. You could say.
Could be.
I was on my way in Toril there and found myself a strange man with a strange tattoo. Yeah, you could totally.
Well, I was on my way to Toril. Oh, no. Yeah, let's try it that way.
Space Hamster Blues. Yeah, you can have this little spoken kind of section. Yeah, that'd be good. We got ourselves some butt kicking for goodness.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, I like that.
That's kind of fun, right? Because then you can sort of play the, if we could do squeak, some sort of squeaky wheel and then squeak and hamster, kind of play those dualities of the words. That could be good.
This is where chat really comes in handy. So there's a bad house over yonder, and that's where my buddy slays. I like that.
Blade and boot. There's another good little Minsc kind of saying, right?
Blade and boot, yeah. And then I think that Jason Nolte writes, I think the first bluesy thing that happened is that a giant space hamster he got shrunk and fell to earth.
Oh yeah, yeah. You could totally play up the Spelljammer angle to start. He's like, everything was cool, and then something the ship shook, and next thing I know, I've crash landed and I'm the wrong size. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then this weird guy with a purple head and yeah, that could be good.
I remember 2 years ago at D&D Live, there was a Minsc cosplayer.
Oh yeah, that guy. I've seen
Trent Oster, yeah, the guy who.
The guy who helped create, yeah.
Who also looks like Minsc.
Yes,
he's not the one. Minsc was his buddy Cam's character in high school.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Cam's one of the developers there. But
there's also trying to think of other aspects to it. Oh man, there was like there's an amazing Minsc cosplayer who does all the comic conventions as well. This guy, really amazing, and he's got a little stuffed hamster. I've gotten photos with him a couple times. He's really sharp.
They say his tattoo is purple, but it looks like the blues to me.
Oh, man.
That's a good line.
That's pretty good.
These are great lines.
Yeah, I do. We got to make sure we got "Go for the Eyes" in there somewhere for sure. So we got to have something like, when the chips are down, we go for the eyes, or like some sort of little bit in there.
You joke about how he's fighting a beholder. He's like, "Go for the eyes." We're like, "Which one?"
That's right. Yeah, totally.
I mean, the first line could be as simple as, "Well, I was on my way to Toro when I got shrunken down."
Yeah, crashed and shrunken down could be,
When I was on my way to Toro, I crashed and got shrunken down.
Yeah. Did you ever imagine that this would be your job? That you would sit around making songs for Dungeons and Dragons characters?
No, not at all.
Yeah.
But I've been training for it for a lifetime.
Isn't that the best, right? Like,
it makes perfect sense because I've been playing D&D since I was about 8 years old.
Yep, same here.
I've been writing songs just about as long. So
that's amazing. It's the best. So I try and explain to people. It's like, on the one hand, people go, "Oh my God, you're perfect for us. You were built for this," or whatever. And I go, "Yeah, but I still feel like a big kid." Like, that's one of the best parts of this whole thing. Getting to work on the comics, getting to work on doing like helping you with the development on like Descent into Avernus, or doing the Young Adventurers guides. Those are like some of the most fun projects I've done in the last 4 or 5, 6 years. And it's like, man, this is the stuff we grew up with. This is the weird thing that we do now. And
I'm holding off growing up as long as possible.
Yes. Yes, got to keep playing games. That's how we all stay young, right?
Yeah, and then one of my other jobs is I'm a voice actor in video games, anime, and cartoons. So like that's just
the best.
My childhood as well.
That's what's so great about it. Like, two of the biggest things to me growing up. Well, 3 of the things, if you said Marvel superheroes, Conan the Barbarian, and Dungeons and Dragons. And currently I work on Marvel superheroes, Conan the Barbarian, and Dungeons and Dragons. It's just like, what?
I want to talk to you more about the Conan stuff, when the show's over.
Absolutely, man. Yeah. Conan's the best. So fun. And trying to have a different voice for that too. Like, I write Conan very differently than I do the D&D comics. Like, the D&D comics have got that frantic kind of momentum that feels like a game session. Like, at any moment, one die roll is going to throw them out of whack. You know what I mean? Like, things are going to go off the rails. And Conan's this like much more intense, pulpy, kind of violent experience, emotional kind of intensity that we have some obviously darker moments in the Baldur's Gate comics, but it's a lot more, kind of light and fantastic, because that kind of, feels a little more D&D to me.
Chase the Fool has a great second line.
Mm-hmm.
And so we've got, "I was on my way to Toro when I crashed and got shrunken down. And now I'm stuck here wandering with this loud, obnoxious clown."
Nice.
I could make that work.
That's pretty good. Yeah. Loud, obnoxious is
that
with
okay?
with this, courageous clown, or with this troublemaking clown, or with
boisterous
this
clown.
Boisterous, yeah.
It'd be good to get that he's like a badass too, if we could.
Yeah, absolutely. Like he's you know, that idea of he charges in before he thinks, that he you know. Yeah. I'm trying to think of getting that feeling for it. Like he's you know, that you got to bring across the idea that he's fighting for what's right, but he does it in the most ridiculous way possible. You know what I mean? Like we're the good, we're the good guys, but you wouldn't know it, or something like that. You know, like you know, that kind of fun sort of take. You know, we're heroes in our own minds, or you know, he's a hero in his own head, or like something like that.
So no one can see our lyrics this time, right?
No, it's
were you guys doing a screen share on that? You're all just
do.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
when there's just the two of us, there's room for it.
What's that?
Can you see our screen? Can you see?
I cannot.
I shared the doc with you, but I don't know if you pulled.
Oh, you shared the doc? Is in the chat window or something?
No, not the chat window. You would have received an email.
Oh no.
Okay, yeah, click on it because it'll be good for you to see.
Oh, there it is. Okay, I get too many emails. It's crazy. Oh, there we go. Hey.
Yeah, and we're just at the very bottom. All the previous
all
episodes
right.
songs are before.
Oh, I got the secrets now.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. Okay. There you go. Booze Blues is good.
So yeah, so we could be like, I was on my way to Toronto. When I crashed and was struck down. And now I'm stuck here wandering with this loud and rowdy clown.
They say his tattoo is purple, but you know it sure looks like the blues to me.
Yeah. It says tattoo is purple, but it sure looks like the blues to me.
That's good fun. I like it. Now I don't know if that's where you put that, or you put that later, or whatever. That's like a fun bit. I really
we can either save that or move it around later. I mean, often we find, you know, in general, not just on this show, but you know, when I'm writing songs with people in general, we may come up with a great line and then be like, oh, that's even, you know.
Yeah, you gotta deliver that later.
And then we're like, oh, the second verse actually should be the first verse.
Right. You need to just keep shifting it around. Yeah, totally. It's weird. Co-writing is very much, you know, in fiction's kind of the same way, where you throw in a bunch of ideas down, plot points and character bits. And, you know, one of the things you'll come up with very early on for a character is like, oh, what's that big emotional moment? And you immediately put it in your document. You're like, no, we got to hold that. That's a bigger moment. We need that later. Or that's a really iconic bit of dialogue or whatever, you know. Yeah, I like that idea of, you know, butt kicking for goodness. Oh my goodness, you know, like something like that.
Great, yeah. Right, yeah. Definitely write that in the doc too. And then what I'm thinking is, you know, I mean, the great thing about the blues is it's so the format you can kind of be as rigid or as loose.
Oh yeah, you can get really loose and kind of strange with it.
Because often, like, the first line would be repeated, right?
Right.
We're not doing that, which is common.
But what you could say is, so we started with, I was on my way to Toro, and then you could say, I was on my way to Baldur's, or something like that. So you can have them just going to different places.
For the next verse.
I was on my way to, you know, not Avernus, you know, like hell, I guess, but it's like, on my way to 9 hells, you know, like something like that, or on my way to, Barovia is too long. It's a Barovia.
10 towns.
10 towns. Nice. On my way to 10 towns. Yeah. Then you could just like keep kind of using that same sort of structure. We're going somewhere else and something crazy happens or blows up, or, you know.
Booze Blues, or that he's stuck with a traveling party of inept adventurers.
Yeah. That he's the only one that's, so we actually have, there's a single issue of Baldur's Gate. It was Evil at Baldur's Gate issue 5, and that was actually called Hamster Quest. I'm really proud of it. And it's an entire issue from the hamster's point of view. Everyone's asleep, and he basically defends them from a group trying to kill them, and they have no idea it happens. And it's like super dorky, but also hilarious and bizarre.
One of our artists did an alternate cover for it.
It's so good. Yeah, it's such a good such a fun issue. We had so much fun. And Max did those little iconic Boo images. That's the one I still use for my Twitter icon and stuff. So he's just sitting there on top of an eyeball. Oh, classic stuff. So sharp.
What I'm thinking is maybe like for these blues verses, just the last word could have a rhyme with it. So like, for example, to sort of finish this little verse out, what if the last word was town? You know, so like, now I'm stuck here wandering with this loud and rowdy clown.
Oh, right.
Blah, 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 going from town to town.
Going from town to town. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I like it.
And then maybe so now I'm stuck here wandering with this loud and rowdy clown, and I watch him as he, kicks butt as we go from town to town.
And then you can also talk about things, and now I know it's going down, like, a big fight or whatever, like some sort of epic row or whatever. You can have that.
For goodness, he says in every town. That's fun. I hear. How about butt kicking for goodness? I hear him shout from town to town.
Could be good. Butt kicking for goodness. And then later, then when you do the refrain on that again, because that could be like butt kicking for goodness could be this constant, thing, because they do that literally everywhere.
Right.
Goodness. Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Yeah.
Broken blades and broken teeth and broken, like you can have all the things he's doing, beating up people and getting in scraps and one of the things I really like about that original portrait of Minsc in Baldur's Gate, and we don't do it as much in the comics, his face is covered in little scars. Like he's clearly been in a ton of fights, which is sort of
a lot of trouble.
Yeah, because he just says his mind or charges in face first or whatever, which I think is a lot of fun. And then you could end on a big like, the kind of you could do like a gold for the eyes. You could sort of like, that could be your big kind of play out at the end potentially, which could be a lot of fun. There's all sorts of different things you could do.
Always like
so
that
many.
quote.
Which one?
Where goes the stench of evil, so goes the cleansing wind of Minsc and Boo.
Yes.
Which seems perfect for this, actually.
Yeah. Where goes the stench of evil? So fun.
We have so many possibilities.
I know, that's what's so great about it. And you almost can't get too hyperbolic. That's what's so great about it. Like if you say, they kill a dragon and, whatever, everything goes down. All evil must fall before, Minsc and Boo, which is great. We had in the newest miniseries that just wrapped up last week, Infernal Tides, they are literally in Avernus. They're in hell. And Minsc and Boo end up, in the midst of the blood war while demons and devils are smashing into each other over the river Styx. And these guys are just like, hey, what's going on? So it's good fun.
What did you guys do or is this a spoiler, to bring them back into where Faerun is now? So you mean like to bring them to the current timeline? Mm-hmm. So there's a famous statue of Minsc that is in the in the square in Baldur's Gate, like in the marketplace. I forget what it's called, the markets in Baldur's Gate, and it's been there
in the old campaign books, they mentioned something called the Legendary Ranger, that he stands in the square. And so there's a thing in one of the Baldur's Gate games, I honestly forget which one it is, they found a character who was turned into a statue and had been, it's a cleric, I think, and they end up freeing her by turning her back to being human.
I remember that.
So I said, we're going to riff on that. So he either was turned into a statue, or so Delina's chaos magic, because she's a wild mage, her wild magic, she has a huge crazy surge, and instead of it hitting the people she's attacking in the middle of that square, she hits the statue, and all of a sudden it's Minsc and Boo in the present. And we've never said definitively, did she bring them into the present? Were they the statues and now they're turned to human? Have they been around the whole time? Like, we don't actually say. So some of our readers are like, oh, they're not really Minsc and Boo. They're like weird constructs that think they're Minsc and Boo, or they've been time traveled, or they were trapped as the statue and now they've been turned to flesh and they're alive again. And like everything else, we kind of keep that ambiguous because that's kind of not the point.
Sure.
And everyone can sort of take from it what they want, which is sort of the joy in that, I find. So it's a blast. Yeah. So they were, but as far as Minsc is concerned, they were, he knew they were, or they were statues, and now they're, whatever.
Let me try these 3 lines, and
Sure.
then I feel like that's kind of where that's sort of the structure we could do this structure one more time and then do sort of like a bluesy chorus.
Yeah, someone's got a good thing going here, and they say the last verse should be something like Boo can't go back to his old life because he cares so much about Minsc. Yeah, basically the kind of, we're best friends and we're gonna ride or die, like we're in it till the end now. Mm-hmm. And butts are going to get kicked, whether they like it or not, or something. Like maybe the start of the story, the song is like, oh, this idiot, why am I stuck with him? And by the end, it's like, yeah, we're heroes, and this is kind of the way it's got to be. That could be a lot of fun, That Minsc, that Boo's come around to the idea in his own, kind of way. Yeah.
Well, I was on my way to Toronto when I crashed and was shrunken down. And now I'm stuck here wandering with this loud and rowdy clown. Oh, kicking for goodness, I hear him shout from town to town. Now we just go right back into the next one.
Yeah, that's good.
Do you like that?
Yeah, and then we could say something about Baldur's Gate. We're in the Baldurs, or you could say whatever.
Sure.
Yeah, that could be kind of fun. In the original, oh man, I'm blanking on a bunch of terminology here. All the D&D fans are gonna be super mad at me. I can't remember which evil god they fight in Baldur's Gate 1.
Oh God. Oh. I mean, in fairness, I played that game like 23 years ago or something, right? Like, when did that game come out?
Throne of Baal, so it's like, yeah, Baal, right? So
was it Baal?
Yeah, Baal's the big bad. So
yeah, because it's the Baalspawn saga was the first games, right?
Should probably remember that. Oh, if I mention that the pandemic wiped my brain clean, it's like, yeah.
Well, I mean,
I think it wiped all of our brains clean.
I know. trying to keep track of all the different projects I'm working on, and then you're like, what about that old video game lore? How about we remember all that stuff too?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Ball at the end of Baldur's Gate 2. Right?
Yeah.
Throne of Ball. Yeah.
Throne of Ball.
I don't even know how it's pronounced. Baal. Yeah.
You know what? There's probably a pronunciation guide in one of the books somewhere.
There probably is. It's always weird whenever I see like documentaries or stuff like that, and then someone will say some terminology or some fantasy word that I've been saying since I was a kid, and all of a sudden I go, "That's how you pronounce it? Oh my gosh!"
Oh, man,
it's so weird.
You mean like Drizzt?
The first,
That-
yeah, or in Tolkien lore, like I used to in my head when I was reading the Silmarillion, I called Beleriand Beleriand. Why wouldn't I? You know
Put
what I mean?
emphasis on the wrong syllable. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, you know? And then
Right?
like, it took me like years to like train myself. No, it's Beleriand.
Yeah.
Beleriand.
When I was a little kid, when I was really young getting into role-playing games, they would talk about melee combat, but I would read it as melee.
Sure.
So I would say melee combat, you know.
Yeah.
Took me years to try and I could still I catch myself saying it and I'm like, no, it's melee. Gotta get it right.
Google says that it's Bale.
Bale.
Really?
Apparently.
Oh, dang it.
All right. Bale's good. That's how I said it, so I'll take
Lord
it.
of Murder.
Lord of Murder.
Yeah. Sorry, I've watched Hot Fuzz too many times.
Nice. There is no
Or
such
not
thing.
enough.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, come on now. No such thing.
Art.
But mind you, yeah, it's so weird. I watched just over a week ago. I rewatched Army of Darkness, which was one of my absolute favorite films, and thankfully it still holds up. Still very funny. Skull Kickers, which was my breakout kind of sword and sorcery comedy series, is a real mix of that Army of Darkness kind of. It's that Army of Darkness or Big Trouble in Little China. The characters with bravado who just even though they're not skilled, they're able to overcome with sheer blind courage. There's a Minsky kind of quality to that as well. Though Minsc can generally back it up with strength, although he's 100% convinced that he can take on just about anything, even if it's way over his level. In the second miniseries we did, Shadows of the Vampire, Minsc and Boo and the rest of the Baldur's Gate crew end up fighting against Strahd, and they lose miserably. And it's such a weird pacing thing because we have them fight Strahd and lose. Like there's just no way they can beat him, and they run away with their tail between their legs. And it said that's how they end up in the third miniseries. And Minsc has this like cataclysmic mental shift because he realizes he can't defeat everything. That literally this is the first time he's ever lost so thoroughly and can't deny it. Like there's no plausible deniability of, well, we fought him to a standstill, well, we made him run away or whatever. Like no, they lost. And that was kind of a fun character bit to bring to him a little bit more kind of depth. He pulls his courage back together, over the course of that third miniseries. But it was a fun little bit to kind of have him go through this, questioning his battle prowess, So.
Well, also having him fight Strahd, lose but not die, that's pretty impressive.
Oh sure, yeah. The fact they're even able to escape is honestly like a bit of luck and good timing, good fortune that they have this magical item that temporarily messes with Strahd long enough that they can run away. It's like it's not a strategic victory. Which was kind of fun. It was funny too because when I was working on the series, I remember I was coming up with the outline and I was like, well, they got we're in Ravenloft, they have to meet Strahd. And I looked at the stats on him and I was like, well, he's just going to kick their butts. And I go, maybe that's the point. Maybe the point is that they lose. And then you sort of start a backfill. I love writing the D&D comics because I don't find the setting and the character stuff or the spells and the items limiting. They give me ideas, they give me idea like how can we work this, make it canon, and it feels like it's statistically correct but also dramatically entertaining, right? So that's where the fun comes from.
No, sometimes like limitations can sort of bring about creativity that you
absolutely
didn't know that you even had, right?
Yeah, you're literally trying to fill in the gaps and your mind is just whirling with possibilities within the exactly limitations. So we're in Baldur's Gate and Boo is talking about how this guy will get in a fight with anyone, or he'll run into a burning building or like anything. Like he's literally he's fearless to the point of suicidal.
What if we keep it in present tense. So we're here and here we are in Baldur's Gate.
Mm-hmm.
Here we are in Baldur's Gate, fighting monsters and Bale spawn. Right?
Oh, that's good. Yeah. Bale spawn, and then what are we gonna rhyme that with? It's like
spawn. There's a lot of ons.
There's a lot of ons.
On.
It's all up ons. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pawns. You know, the Golden Dawn.
Mm-hmm. Fighting till dawn.
Yep, that's good.
What are the name of the coins in Forgotten Realms? They've got a specific name for them, don't they?
Gold dragons?
Isn't that
They're
right?
called just gold dragons? I thought there was another name for them.
No, I don't know. Someone
I
tell
could
us.
I
What
could
are
be
they?
right. Yes. So someone who doesn't do this for a living, tell us the answer.
What are the coins called?
I ordered some of those, by the way. I've got them. I should go grab them. I got them from Beetle and Grimm's. I got some coins.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, they look really cool.
Yeah, they've been.
Yeah, I
they've
got some too at the live event like a year ago.
Oh no, I just when they did a reprint of them recently, so I ordered some. I think they're just off camera here. I should go grab them.
Grab them.
All right.
Fighting monsters and Pale Spawn. He said something about magic and swords for everyone.
I like that. Is that one of his quotes? Swords for everyone.
Yeah. What is it? Magic is impressive, but now Minsc leads. Swords for everyone.
Swords for everyone.
Yeah, check these out. So they come in a little baggie here, and then that's the. Yeah, they're cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, they look great.
Oh wait, what's on the other side? Is it
So it's got some looks like a dwarf or some sort of character's head
a
on
guy
it.
with a beard, right?
Yeah.
I've got one of I got one of those. Those are really cool.
Oh, they're great. They're good stuff. Good fun. Yeah, I got a bunch. I was going to use them for props in my D&D game when people were still getting together in person.
I am in a weekly Zoom game, you know, with just like our friends and stuff. And,
Yeah.
You know, it's the cool thing about Zoom is the screen sharing capability because
Oh, totally. That's some of that stuff's super cool. I love those elements of it.
it's close
That
to
one-
being in person, but not-
I've got one of those soul coins around here too. Damn it.
Those were awesome, and I lost mine.
No.
Which
Oh my
probably
gosh.
means I lost my soul, but I probably lost it a long time ago.
Those soul coins are so great. They're just bad.
I'm pretty sure Kyle ended up with a bunch of them, Jason. Every time I
Kyle.
saw him, he had a new stack, and it was like each day of the event, and they were the ones
Yeah,
that
just
he
getting
got
more and
that
more.
day.
One of the coolest things. So Adam Lee and I came up with the soul coin stuff when we were doing the story development early on in the brainstorming phase. And I remember being at live and Adam coming over to me and handing me one of those coins and just being like, look, they're real. And I was like, oh my God, this is the craziest, thing I could have ever imagined. And then Max Dunbar came up with the Abyssal Chicken, which is now this infamous little dorky thing that people love as well from Avernus, which is so cool.
Oh man, I'm loving all of this.
Oh, there's so much stuff here. Oh my gosh.
I am just chipping away at it while you guys are telling stories.
That was good.
This episode feels much more like a hangout, which I'm fine with, and hopefully the audience is fine with too.
Yeah, I hope you're okay with that. We're just sort of reminiscing about good times, but that's kind of a bluesy.
Well, that's sort of the
thing.
opposite of what the blues are, but
Well,
that's
sure.
That's what,
I mean, we're having fond memories, not
right. Is that like I like how that can go to like that can sort of be the chorus vibe. They say his tattoo is purple, but it sure looks like the blues to me.
That's good stuff.
Yeah, like it'd be cooler to you'd be like, how did I like
Yeah.
like if we can lengthen the how did I end up here to like
Right.
well, like
How did I end up? Yeah, stuck with it. Yeah, trying to think. How did I end up stuck with these heroes or something like that? Stuck with these.
How did I end up here stuck? How about how did I end up here stuck with these heroes? How did I end here stuck? How did I end up here stuck with these heroes? And then what the eternity part?
Yeah, well, it's like shrunk down for eternity.
Shrunk down for eternity. Yeah.
Good.
I'm gonna try that second. Here we are in Baldur's Gate, fighting monsters and bell spawn. He said something about magic and swords for everyone. Oh, back kicking for goodness. Oh my goodness, not again.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay.
Yeah. That's good.
Yeah,
fun.
all right, let me try up to that so far.
All right.
Yeah, I was on my way to
We're
Toro
gonna reward everyone here.
when I crashed and was shrunken down. Now I'm stuck here wandering with this loud and rowdy clown. But kicking for goodness, I hear him shout from town to town. Well, here we are in Baldur's Gate, fighting monsters and bell spawn. He said something about magic, swords for everyone. But kicking for goodness, oh my goodness, not again. You say his tattoo is purple, but it sure looks like the blues to me. How did I end here? How did I end up here stuck with these heroes? Shrunk down for eternity. Yeah.
Someone had a really good line in the thing. They said, like, if you wanted to read, you could use that thing about, they say his tattoo is purple, but it sure looks like the blues to me. Someone in the chat's like, sounds like black and blues to me, which is pretty good. Because it's like the constant fights and the constant threats, which I really like. Yeah, that's super fun.
Well, that could be something we go back to, as they say his tattoo is purple a couple of times as well.
Yeah. Well, I feel like it kind of goes in the sort of the chorus spot. So
absolutely. Yeah, and then you could either end with like a go for the eyes as you sort of fade out, and you could do all kinds of things like that, or you could work it into an actual line in there. So
yeah.
Oh, you could do something like go for the eyes, something battle cries. You could do some pretty cool stuff with.
Go for the eye battle cry, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so are we moving into a chorus now, or are we
This is the thing with the blues. You can do all kinds of stuff.
You can kind of just go on forever.
Yeah, the
you
blues
guys
just kinda
talk a little bit. Let me digest musically where I want to go.
All right.
For
Yeah.
that. And so you guys just chit chat and I'll be noodling away.
Right.
have something in there about mourning the death of his witch.
Oh yeah.
Which, you know, failed his rite of passage and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I guess Boo's observation, he's like, he's hung up on this witch. You know, like...
The stench of evil, you know. He sees evil everywhere. You know, he fights everything. Like, yeah, there's all sorts of... Small spoiler, the end of Infernal Tides just came out last week. So Minsc took a dive, took a bath in the river Styx. So his memory's been wiped. And at the very end of it, they save the day and all this kind of stuff. But Minsc doesn't actually remember his own anything. And so at the very end, he's sitting in this little park in Elturel, and they're Neris comes to talk to him, and he's, you know, listening to Boo excitedly squeaking at him, and she's like, "What are you doing?" And he goes, "This incredible hamster is telling me the story of my own legend. I can't believe a thing. Did this all happen?" And she's like, "It's all true. Everything he says is true." You know, and he's like, "Well, I'm really looking forward to, you know, hearing these stories." And she's like, "Don't worry, someday you'll remember them." And he goes, "Well, until then, it's going to be a big surprise." So he's just like super happy to hear about all the adventures he's gone on. Like, he's just gives it this positive sheen, even though he doesn't remember what happened, which I thought was kind of fun. So,
are they going to release a hardcover trade of that, like leather bound and like with Infernal
so they did
the cover? Or...
So they did this. They did an omnibus. So this is like the first. So this is called Days of High Adventure. It's 3 miniseries all in one. I wanted them to do a hardcover so bad, but they haven't done one. But yeah, it's a beauty. So that's like Legends of Baldur's Gate, Shadows of the Vampire, and Frostgiant's Fury. And then we're almost certainly going to do a 6th miniseries. So then that'll be Evil at Baldur's Gate, Infernal Tides, and whatever we do for the 6th one. Where I'll do Days of Endless Adventure 2 or whatever. So I will write these as long as they let me, essentially. I can just, you know, keep amping it up, keep doing crazy stuff with it. I'm always down for D&D, so it's good times, you know. One of the things I've written more Dungeons and Dragons comics than any other writer now. So
good.
Nice.
Good.
Yeah.
Now
Yeah,
keep pushing that.
So I got to push it higher now. Yeah, so there was an advanced Dungeons and Dragons comic series in the 80s, but they had a couple different writers drop in and out. So I actually went through and I counted how many they each had written or whatever. And with Infernal Tides, I've now crossed to the most D&D comics. So I'm pretty happy about that. And then you throw in a bunch of other role-playing game related comic stuff I've done. Everything from, you know, the Rick and Morty D&D to Pathfinder and Munchkin and all that other stuff. So yeah, I'm trying to lock down the title for role-playing game comics. It's like, got to do them all. Got to do the tabletop, you know, setting comic stuff. I love that stuff so much. It is the best. And now we're doing the Stranger Things D&D official comic, Dark Horse and IDW, which is going to be a ton of fun. So I've been writing about the campaign that the kids play in the Netflix show, showing kind of how they first got D&D. That's one of the weirdest things. I wrote a story about the kids from Stranger Things getting their first copy of D&D and starting to play together, and realizing that based on what little they hint at in the show, Dustin joined them later. And so I wrote literally the scene where like Mike and Will and Lucas meet Dustin for the very first time, which you never see in the show. And the time they chat together about gaming and all this stuff. And I was really nervous about it. I was like, I really like this scene, because Dustin's that kind of the semi-math nerdy kid. Mm-hmm. And so in the story, they're sitting around the cafeteria and they're playing D&D at school over lunch. And Lucas is freaking out because he has to make this really hard roll. And Dustin just sort of is at the table eating, and he looks over and tells them what the probabilities are for him to make that roll. And that's how they start kind of talking at the table and stuff. So yeah, that was a lot of fun. It was a really fun scene. Yeah, I'm doing that series, co-writing it with Jody Hauser. She's been doing the
Love Jody.
Jody's amazing. She's been doing the Critical Role comics, and she's been doing the Stranger Things books over at Dark Horse. So she's awesome. We've been gaming together too, which has been a lot of fun. So we were in a little tabletop gamer as a group of us, a lot of comic book people hanging out every week.
On Zoom, but off camera.
Sure. Not a public game, yeah.
Yeah, this weekend.
Yeah, same with us. We've been doing like kind of just our own little crew. And so people are like, oh, are you guys going to stream it? And it's like, no, not. I love the streaming games. I love doing the performance stuff, but not every game has to be on stream to be valid, you know. You can, God forbid, just have a fun time with your friends every so often.
No, must stream
or else. Yeah.
Like, follow, subscribe, or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button.
The lower pressure role playing game where you're actually just hanging out, and the first 20 minutes is just, you know, how you been stuff.
Yeah. Everybody getting organized, talking.
Right.
DM waiting patiently for everybody.
Yeah. I got something I think that can work. So you guys can help me with. So see how in the second line of the sort of chorus thing we go, how did I end up here stuck with these heroes, right? So it would be cool to have something that matches that with they say his tattoo is purple, da 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 da, or they say da 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 da, his tattoo is purple. So we just need like one other
like something they say, you know,
6 syllables to get me. Yeah, either they say or he's done I think they say. So they say na 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 na, and his tattoo is purple, but it sure looks like blues to me. So just some other thing that they say about him that we end with tattoo is purple.
Right, but it sure looks like the blues to me. Yeah. They say
or he says his da 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 and his tattoo.
Oh, right. Purple. He says it's okay. Hold on. That's where we got to look up some quotes then, because he says all sorts of crazy crap. He says, now I just pulled up a page of crazy Minsc quotes. Okay. Backhand of justice is pretty. Oh man.
We actually need. I think 6 syllables.
6 syllables.
Or 5, maybe 5 syllables if we can fit something in there.
Squeaky wheel gets the kick. The bigger they are, the harder I hit.
It's good, but too many syllables.
You point, I punch is 4, right? Swords for everyone. Watch it, I'm huge. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, watch it, I'm huge.
I love that.
That's so good. Full plate and packing steel.
I think it needs to be something that he says about himself.
Yeah.
Like he says he's da 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 da, and his tattoo is purple.
Yeah.
Like
he says evil. Yeah, it says goodness is invulnerable. Yeah, it's all too long. He says he's a legend. He says he's, you know.
He says there's evil around every corner.
Yeah.
How close is that? Evil around?
Evil around every corner. But then you got to also say the tattoo's purple.
Yeah.
He says he's
the bigger they are, the harder I hit.
Too many, too much.
Too many, yeah.
We'll put that somewhere for sure.
He says
and his tattoo's purple. I think it needs to be something ridiculous about
his sword is sharp and his tattoo is purple. His sword is
something as simple as that.
Yeah. says his arms are rippled, like something.
Yeah, something like that.
His oh.
There's some really funny quotes I forgot about.
Oh yeah, there's so many good ones.
A den of stinking evil. Cover your nose.
Oh,
We will leave no crevice untouched.
God.
Yes, make way. I'm armed to the teeth and packing a hamster. Oh, here we go. Boo must have his exercise, lest he bites us in hard to reach places.
I like that, Glacier, but it's. He said. Ragnar. He says he lives by the sword and his tattoo is purple.
Oh, that's not bad.
There we go.
Lives by the sword. Lives by the sword is good.
He lives by the sword and his tattoo is purple.
Yeah.
But it sure looks like the blues to me.
There we go.
How did I end up here stuck with these heroes? Shrunk down for eternity. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah.
That's the hamster blues.
I totally dropped my.
Space hamster blues.
Bane of every guitar player when you drop your pick inside
Uh-oh.
the sound hole. I mean, it's fine. I have a million other picks, but it's just always annoying when it's bouncing around in there.
No escape.
Welcome to behind the scenes, everyone.
That's right.
How did I end up here stuck with these weirdos?
E3D by Takamine, by the way. They actually sent me this because my other guitar, my other favorite acoustic guitar, is very reflective. So you can see the fact that like my guest bed is right here, and sometimes we put our dirty laundry on the guest bed. And when I but this guitar has a satin finish, so you can't see that. So this is better for streaming.
Nice. All your secrets revealed.
Well, you know.
I kind of like that somebody put in the chat, how did I end up here stuck with these weirdos?
Yeah.
I almost like that more than heroes.
Yeah.
That's better.
That is better.
Let's go weirdos.
Mm-hmm.
All right, that pick is just going to live in there because I can't dedicate any more time to getting it out. Where are you? I see you.
What about some sort of thing talking about like, so you could do, I love when you can do, multiple takes on the same word, right? So that idea of, butt kick for goodness, oh my goodness. And then you could have something like something curses. And then you could say like like the hamster curses, like he's swearing because he's so annoyed. Yeah. You know what I mean? Getting hit with curses. I've got curses, like something like that.
I think we're back to more verses at this point. So
yeah,
verses sounds good.
Nice. Like how hard it is to be a hamster. Like he's bad weather and bad people and monsters. Like he was out in space and everything was simple, and now here it's just like everything is a terrible trek, right? Everything is more difficult. Dank dungeons and
yeah, like now we're crawling through. Now I'm crawling through some dungeon.
Yeah, dank dungeons, fighting dragons. You could do all kinds of things.
Dirt and rain and mud on my fur. I like that.
That's right. Life was simpler out in space. Or you could do dirt and rain, mud on my face. Life was simpler out in space.
Life was simpler in outer space.
I got them space hamster blues.
It'd be easier to sing if it was a life was simpler out in space, if that's okay.
Yeah, out in space. Yeah, totally.
Dirty rain. Life was simpler out in space. Of course, now we're kind of backing ourselves in a corner here if we're going to do 2 rhymes a line, because now we've got dirt and rain and mud on my face, life was simpler out in space, crossing stars in the astral sea, da 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 dee. I mean, we could do
what has happened to me or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Cross stars in the astral sea, whatever has happened to me. And then you could go back to that whole, he says, blah, 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 but it sure feels like space hamster blues to me.
Yeah, we'll do that in the second time we get to that.
Yeah.
The second time we sort of get to that bridge part. I want
you could do. I'm trying to think of something about killing spree, and then sure feels like the blues to me. Off again on another killing spree. Yeah, something like that.
Looking for a quote with an E at the end.
Or you could say kicking down doors with glee.
Sure. Dirt, rain, and mud. Let me try dirt, rain, and mud on my face.
Mm-hmm.
Dirt, rain, and mud on my face. Life was simpler out in space. Crossing stars and the astral sea. Whatever has happened to me. Down doors with glee. Although I think it shouldn't be an E rhyme.
No, yeah, because we just did C and me, so we can't do glee. Yeah. Kicking down doors or kicking down orcs or something like that.
Fear not, I will inspire you all by charging blindly on.
down doors, mopping up floors. Like something like that. Like kicking down doors, something floors. And then we can actually rhyme the E.
Yeah.
It could be like kicking down doors on and along.
Yeah, kicking down doors, not mopping the floors, but like something like that. Yeah,
kicking down doors.
Blood on the floors.
Blood on the floor. Yeah. Kicking indoors, blood on the floors.
An endless heroic killing spree or something like that.
Something exactly like
Nothing
that.
says heroism like a killing spree.
I know. Well, it's also Dungeons and Dragons, right? Or an endless chaotic, fighting spree or something like that. An endless heroic killing spree.
I collect the eyes. That's my fee.
How about that's not bad. So one of the things that could be neat is having some sort of a bridgey bit where you literally have like Boo talks about Minsc's particular way of catching a phrase or whatever, and then you have kind of a spoken word section in the middle where you can use a couple of those quotes that wouldn't fit necessarily in the rhyming verse. I don't know. I'm just trying to think how you do that. Best friend's always trying to get you killed.
Can I make it kicking down doors just because I think things better?
Yeah, kicking down doors.
Kicking down doors.
So what if you had something like for the near the end, you're like, my best friend's always trying to get me killed. You got something about, we're gonna die and he's thrilled. You know what I mean? Like we're on the precipice of death and he's thrilled, and then it's like, my best friend's trying to get me killed. Like that could be fun.
That could come right after. So let me try what we have so far just to kind of give us a vibe where we're at the moment.
Or on the precipice of almost dead and he's thrilled. My best friend trying to get me killed.
Take this. We'll give a little reverb too. I was on my way to Toronto.
Oh.
When I crashed and was shrunken down. Now I'm stuck here wandering with this loud and rowdy clown. But kicking for goodness, I hear him shout from town to town. Here we are on Baldur's Gate, fighting monsters and bale spawn. He said something about magic, swords for everyone. But kicking for goodness, oh my goodness, not again. He says he lives by the sword and his tattoo is purple, but it sure looks like a boost to me. Dropped another pick. How did I end here? How did I end up here stuck with this weirdo? Struck down for eternity. Yeah, 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 yeah. Mm-hmm. The rain and moon on my face. Life was simpler out in space. Crossing stars in the ecstasy. Whatever has happened to me. Kicking down doors, blood on the floors, endless heroic killing spree. Says he lives by the sword and his tattoo is purple, but it sure looks like a boost to me. How did I end up here stuck with these weirdos, struck down for eternity? Yeah, 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 yeah. And then maybe that's where we could go into like a listing of things.
Yeah, yeah.
You knew the blues makes me drops my pick a lot. I mean, I guess it wouldn't be the blues if something bad didn't happen.
That's right.
Fun fact, precipice is the #1 used word in all blues songs. I'm not sure about that.
I don't know about that.
That seems unlikely.
Yeah.
feel like the word blues is probably the most used song in all
Probably.
of those songs.
Probably.
Yeah. So on Monday nights, I host a music show, and I have a guest every week. And one of my guests was a guy named Jack Barksdale, who's now 13, but he wrote his first blues song at age 9.
What?
And it's called I Ain't Got the Blues Yet. I'm only 9.
Touché.
That's great.
And he was like, well, you know, it's, you might, he said, I was like, you know, what was your inspiration behind writing that? He's like, well, if you're going to write a blues song, it might as well be authentic. I can't argue with that.
Man.
That's amazing.
He's tapping into that wisdom at 9. Oh,
He's so good.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Jack Barksdale is his name, and he's got records out, and
so cool.
Yeah.
Huh.
But what I love about him is that he, you know, I think he's just going to be one of those musicians for the rest of his life. Like, his parents aren't trying to make him a child star or anything.
Right.
It's just what he does, and he you know,
that's great.
Not pushing him at all. Like, they're not musicians. Like, he wanted a guitar one day when he was like 7 or 8, and they're like, "What is this? What's this coming out of our kid?"
Right.
Yeah. Great.
The soul of the blues, apparently.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Reincarnated from an old blues man somewhere.
Amazing. Oh, that's so hilarious.
Okay. Oh, you know what? I got an interesting, different way I could sing the second verse. Sorry, I'm just kind of talking to myself. The rain on my face. Life was simpler out in space. Crossing stars and the astral sea. Whatever happened to me? Kicking down doors, blood on the floor for endless heroic killing spree. Yeah.
Heroic killing spree is weird. Weirdly inspired. Yeah, it's pretty good.
All right, I'm gonna record this really fast to remind myself. The rain on my face. Life was simpler out in Spain. Crossing stars and the astral sea. Whatever happened to me? Kicking out doors and blood on the floors. Endless heroic killing spree. Okay,
so it sounds like we're kind of turning a corner. So Boo was talking about all the terrible stuff and how much is annoying, but all of a sudden kicking down doors, blowing the floors, and listen, we're killing spree, and then you could sort of go on about like gold and glory, or like, you know, the legend is growing, or you know,
it certainly needs to end in some way with him happily going for the eyes.
Yeah.
So so now he's sort of building this, like, building up to this, you know, okay, maybe it's not so bad, or maybe space can wait, or like something like that.
Almost dead and he's thrilled. Best friend trying to get us killed.
And I wouldn't have it any other way. I don't know, you know, what he's going to say or something like that. And then I wouldn't have it any other way. So, because he's always just spouting lines that it just seem like gibberish, right?
Something like that.
Oh,
That's kind of like a bridge, like a one-time thing.
Bigger they are, the harder he hits.
Sorry. My best friend trying to get us killed. The bigger they are, the harder he hits. It'd be cool to get a hit. The bigger they are, the harder he hits. Da 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 da. It's
Out of the pits or something like that. Climbing out of the pits, or demons and devils climbing out of the pits or something like that. Like,
oh, I love it. The bigger they are, the harder he hits. Even demons and devils climbing out of the pits.
yeah, could be good. Demons and devils. It feels like it's a little too many syllables. Devils come up from the pits, or come out of the pits, or run from the pits, or something like that. Run from the pits, like he's sending them screaming.
Yeah.
Even demons, yeah.
Oh, even demons and devils will run for their pits.
Oh, could be.
Right?
Be.
Because that's where they come from, right?
Yeah. Run back to their pits.
Run back to their pits. Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, for their pits, back to their pits.
Run back to the, yeah. The bigger they are, the harder he hits. Even demons and devils run back to their pits. Yeah.
We're heroes now, or something like that. Because we said weirdos, we got rid of heroes earlier. So now maybe we say, and we're heroes now. Like that could be like a.
So yeah, so musically we change it up a little bit. But almost dead and it's real. My best friend trying to get us killed. Bigger they are, the harder he hits. Even demons and devils run back to the pits. Na 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 na. It's always about going back to the one for the blues. So, like to resolving it there. You take. So just kind of one more resolving line there for this part anyway.
Right.
Does it need to be as many syllables as the previous two there?
No.
No.
So like the bigger they are, the harder he hits. Even demons and devils run back to their pits. Da 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 da. About that. I mean, we have a lot of real estate there.
12?
Yeah, go. A legend is growing, so something now.
I mean, either that or what if we took maybe now's where we could fit a cool quote in there.
Right. There's strength in numbers, and I am 2 or 3 at least.
Something like that.
Hold on. Yeah.
Squeaky wheel gets the kick.
Squeaky wheel gets the kick.
If your wheel is squeaking, you know you're going to get kicked or something.
Yeah. Butts shall be liberally kicked. We've already talked about butt kicking, so.
Yeah, we have multiple rounds of butt kicking.
As you do.
Yeah. For goodness, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, here we go. This quote, camaraderie, adventure, and steel on steel. The stuff of legend, right, Boo?
The stuff of legend.
Yeah.
Jump on my sword while you can. Evil won't be as gentle.
So good.
Has the best quotes.
That is. He does have the best quote. Coming up with them is hard, man. There was one in they're fighting in this mage's study, and Minsc picks up this entire bookshelf, and he's like, "Eat a library," and he just like hits him with it. Oh, I love that. Cities always teem with evil and decay. Let's give it a good shake and see what comes out.
Does that fit in with the bigger they are, the harder he hits? Even demons and devils run back to their pits. Their strength in numbers, but we're at least 5 or 6. That's clumsy.
It's funny.
If there's a way to sort of tighten it up just a bit.
Yeah. Their strength in numbers were...
Full plate and packing steel. I need aid soon, lest my hamster become an orphan.
I like the one where it's like, I must have aid. Boo is too young to have to avenge me.
It's very classy stuff. He's got all the best lines.
He really does.
Also, coming up with nicknames for all the bad guys is actually more difficult than you might think. So he's because every one he fights is like, you know, he's got a nickname for. He's going to give them, and it's always like, you know, Ugly Knight, and like, you know, Stinky, you know, Demon or whatever. But it's like got to be something just. It's like an accurate observation, but always just a little bit off-putting and odd. There's in Evil at Baldur's Gate #1, they fight against an ogre magi. I guess they call them Onis now in 5th edition D&D.
Oh yeah.
And they fight to a standstill, and the Oni escapes. And for a moment, you think that Minsc is gonna be super angry because the bad guy got away, and then he looks at Boo and he's like, oh, "We've got an enemy! Like we're gonna get to fight him again!" Like, you know. Like we've got this guy hates us. This is great. Now we're gonna have all kinds of fights with this guy.
Onis are great underutilized enemies too.
Oh yeah.
Dylan, honestly, like it actually sings pretty good. At least, so what if it's here? Just listen. Let me sing this part for you. So it's like, almost dead and it's real. My best friend trying to get us killed. Bigger they are, the harder he hits. Even demons and devils run back to the pits. The safety in numbers, and we're at least 5 or 6.
Oh, that is good, actually.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's kind of fun.
Yeah, it's good. No, I think it's surprisingly good, actually. Safety in numbers, and we're 5 or 6.
And we're at least 5 or 6. Yeah.
Yeah, 2 or 3 seem like too low of a number now that it's both.
Oh yeah. They've also leveled up since Baldur's Gate, so you know.
True.
They're level 8 now.
Well, no
I'm just as stingy.
Their asses.
Yeah, I'm just as stingy with experience for my comic characters as I am in my real campaigns. Ask my ask my players. They're like, Jim, have we not hit a milestone yet? I'm like, I like this level. This is a good power level for you guys. I like this challenge rating. It's good.
I like giving my players levels and loot because I just make things way harder for them.
I loathe trying to run the high-end campaigns, all the powers and all the crazy crap.
Oh, it's hard because
so hard.
You think that you've balanced something, and then they're like, roll a crit and they just explode it instantly. You're like, all right, we're done. Now what? You're like,
or you just forget they've got
notes.
You forget they've got some, you know, ability that you just didn't remember on their sheet, or some spell that they told you they took it, and you're like, yeah, and then it comes in a little too handy, and you're like, oh my god. I loathe the Ranger's Primeval Awareness. I hate that ability. It's awful. It's a game-breaking, terrible thing.
Just have something attack them from the ethereal plane.
Yeah, clearly. So I'm reading some other quotes here from the comics. Oh, so the Ogre Magi goes, I will savor eating you. And then Minsc goes, no, you won't, ugly face. I taste terrible.
Just trying to think of what we need for the next part.
Let me try doing what we have so far up to that bridge part.
Okay.
Okay.
I think the people who just checked into the stream will also appreciate that.
Okay, great. So yeah, so this is what we've got so far.
All right.
I was on my way to total when I crashed and was shrunken down. Now I'm stuck here wandering with this loud and rowdy clown. But kicking for goodness, I hear him shout from town to town. Here we are in Baldur's Gate, fighting monsters and ball spawn. He said something about magic, swords for everyone. But kicking for goodness, oh my goodness, not again. He says he lives by the sword and his tattoo is purple, but it sure looks like the blues to me. How did I end up here stuck with these weirdos, shrunk down for eternity? Yeah, 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 yeah. The rain on my face. Life was simpler out in Spain. Crossing stars and the astral sea. Whatever happened to me? Kicking down doors, blood on the floor, endless heroic killing spree. Almost dead and it's thrill. My best friend trying to get us killed. The bigger they are, the harder he hits. Even demons and devils run back to their pits. They safety in numbers and we're released from a sin. So that's where we are so far.
It's pretty good. It's very bluesy. I must admit, I didn't at the start when someone was like the hamster blues or the jazz, I was like, okay, I'm down for it, but I don't know how this is going to come together. But one of the things that's so great is seeing that those pieces start to, kind of circle around, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's everyone kind of knows the blues or the sort of general template of it.
Mm-hmm.
But if we try to keep it as creative as we can still sort of like put our own take on it,
Yeah. So at the very end, when it's sort of fading out, you could sort of do a thing where you could be like, I don't know how we want to end it, like a sort of, and then I go for the eyes.
Yeah, we definitely still need
you go for the eyes. Everybody goes for the eyes. Like something like that.
Even over that first blues riff,
Yeah.
Then I go for the eye. You ever want to go for the eye?
Yeah, totally.
Then I go for the eye. Everyone go for the eye.
Yeah, and then it just sort of fades out. That would be a lot of fun.
It's perfect, actually.
Everybody goes for the eyes.
Your money goes for the eye.
You want to go for the eyes. You could just stretch it out. It's time to go for the eyes. As it's getting quieter and quieter.
Well, you have to say it 10 times because it's a beholder, right?
Oh, it's a beholder. He's got so many eyes.
Aberrations in all their eyes.
Yeah.
I gotta go for the eyes.
Never go for the eye. Never go for the eye.
I don't know. What do you think, Dylan?
Well, I don't know. It's hard to know when to end a blues song.
Very true. Because I mean, we could add a solo. I mean, with me playing by myself, it wouldn't really sound that great. But you know, if we recorded it, we could totally have a super bluesy solo in the middle. You know, so like, do we have enough material right now to kind of make a full song? We might.
We're getting there for sure. If not, we got to be close. So narratively speaking, we're starting with him crashing, him being annoyed, but then him kind of coming around to this. I think we need a verse that's basically him like accepting that they need to be heroes and legends, and he's okay with it. He'll go along with it as long as he gets to go for the eyes. And that's
Okay.
when you can sort of end it with, and that's why I go for the eyes. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a nice little, he's annoyed at the start and now he's sort of accepting it as long as he gets to eat his favorite thing, which maybe just happens to be eyeballs. Tasty, tasty eyeballs.
I need my best friend.
So my best friend's trying to get me killed though earlier, so we gotta find Evo with my pals or something. With my crew, and we something do.
Barney, when he goes low, I go for the eyes. Now we're heroes and legends, we're fighting evil with my pals.
Oh, what rhymes with pals?
A lot.
Really?
Yeah. Do you know about Rhyme Zone?
I do not.
Go to rhymezone.com.
Oh my gosh.
Well, actually, not a lot does rhyme with pals, but if you do near rhymes, there's a lot.
All right. We could say crew though. Tons would rhyme with crew.
True. Like true.
Including true. Fighting true. Goodness through and through.
I like crew. Because then we could actually, the last line could be Minsc and Boo.
Oh well, geez. There you go. All right.
Rhyme. Now.
Yeah. Now we're the legends known as Minsc and Boo.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because we haven't actually used his name yet.
Right.
Everybody goes for the eyes. You know you want to go for the eyes.
The eyes, go for them. The goggles do nothing. No.
No, I think I go for the eyes is like the vamp out.
Yeah, that is the vamp out for
Yeah.
sure.
So we don't need that yet.
Yeah.
Listen. Our heroes and legends,
I didn't
fighting evil with my crew.
And then we could say the kinds of stuff they fight. So you could say everything like, undead or demons, or no, we said demons and devils earlier.
Right.
Dragons and goblins and
Dragons and goblins and yeah. Dragons and giants and goblins and
It'd be great if we could get like a very D&D specific, like weird ass creature in there.
Neo Ogatuk.
Well,
If you can rhyme, if you can blow that one in there, I'd be impressed.
Umber Hulk? Umber Hulks are D&D specific.
Umber Hulk?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah,
I don't think owlbears are specifically only D&D anymore, are they?
but they are so great.
They're
Really?
great, yes. Yeah, there are owlbears in Pathfinder.
Really?
Yeah.
Clearly, they should have trademarked owlbears.
I think there's like a dozen or so of the main D&D monsters that are distinctly owned by
Yes.
D&D, but like you would think that a gelatinous cube is one, but I don't think it is.
No, I don't think so either.
But it's like beholders and mind flayers and
Shambling Mound. Roper.
Roper.
Lions and ropers.
I'm going to be pulling out my monster manual momentarily here.
Do it, yeah, because I would have to leave the streaming setup and like
All right,
go to
hold
the
on.
office to get mine. I should have a stack of books handy here. I do at home. It's always in arm's reach.
Yeah, my monster manual is
Actually, I'll just use my spiffy copy of Monsters and Creatures: The Young Adventurer's Guide. What a fine product this is
Yeah.
to bring new people into the hobby, I must say.
Yeah.
The cheap advertising. It's so good.
Dragons and giants and
Cloakers
gnomes
is
and
good.
kobolds.
Treants and giants, skeletons, vampires.
Beholder's got to be D&D exclusive, right?
Oh yeah, big time. And they're very specific about the number of eyes. Got to have 10 eyes.
Beholders and dragons and goblins. And
Myconid.
Oh, Myconid.
Such a weird one.
How does
a
that
hard one.
sound though?
It's a hard one to fit into a song.
Oh yeah, Myconid's not exactly jumping out there.
Dragons and goblins and hobos. Life never felt so true.
Piercers and pixies.
What if we said, like, let our swords strike brave and true?
Yeah,
Same thing.
his
Behold,
swords.
Dragons and goblins and hobos, let our swords strike brave and true.
May our sword strike ever true.
Yeah, great. May our swords strike ever true. Perfect. May our swords strike ever true.
Trust me to make it sound more highfalutin.
I love it. The highfalutin blues. Well, I mean, we are writing about D&D characters after all.
Right. It's kind of my thing.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta say, when I write the narration on Conan the Barbarian, man, that is some. I'm trying to do the Robert E. Howard worthy purple prose. That is
Wait.
tough.
Can we fit this quote in here now?
Which one?
Where goes the stench of evil, so goes the cleansing wind of Minsc and Boo.
I think so.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, the stench of evil, so goes the cleansing wind of Minsc and Boo.
Oh, could
Yeah.
be good.
And now we go for the eyes. All right.
And then he tells me goes for
X10.
the eyes.
Right?
Times 10.
Yeah.
Wow.
Right.
And then all the different variations of it's time to go for the eyes. You know you want to go for the eyes.
Write that down for me just so that I can
Write down
Look
all
at
the
it.
variations.
while I'm singing. Yeah, while I'm
Okay.
singing.
Okay. And so we go for the now we go for the eyes. And so we go for the eyes. You know you want to go for the eyes. How about we go for the eyes? And
Yeah.
then, you could do one little rhyme because every so often they'll break it up. So you could say, "Oh, how the time flies when we go for the
When
eyes."
you're going for the eyes.
Yeah. So you could do that. Especially, it sort of plays back the idea that they've come through time as well.
Oh, how the time flies when you're going for the eyes.
Everybody goes for the eyes. They hate it when you go for the eyes. A natural 20 always goes for the eyes.
Okay. Let me give it a shot. What do you guys
Okay.
think?
I got 3 more of these to come up with. Just go.
I know.
I'll be done by the time you get there.
All right. Here we go.
Oh my gosh. It is
Space
happening.
Hamster Blues, everybody.
Space Hamster Blues.
I was on my way to Toro when I crashed and was stricken down. Now I'm stuck here wandering with this loud and rowdy clown. kicking for goodness. I hear him shout from town to town. Here we are in Baldur's Gate, fighting monsters and bell spawn. He said something about magic and swords forever won. But kicking for goodness, oh my goodness, not again. He says he lives by the sword and his tattoo is purple, but it sure looks like the blues to me. How did I end up here stuck with these weirdos, shrunk down for eternity? Yeah, yeah, yeah. The rain poured on my face. Life was simpler out in space. Crossing stars in the astral sea. Whatever happened to me? Kicking down doors, blood on the floors, endless heroic killing spree. Says he lives by the sword and his tattoo is purple, and it sure looks like a bruise to me. How did I end up here stuck with these weirdos, shrunk down for eternity? Yeah, almost dead and it's thrill. My best friend trying to get us killed. The bigger they are, the harder he hits. Even demons and devils run back to their pits. The safety of numbers and we're with these 5 or 6. Yeah. Oh. Now we're heroes and legends, fighting evil with my crew. Beholders and dragons and goblins and kobolds, may our swords strike ever true. Where goes the stench of evil, so goes the cleansing wind of Minsc and boom. So now we go for the eye. Yeah, we go for the eye. How about we go for the eye? Yeah, we go for the eye. Oh, how time flies when you're going for the eye.
It's pretty great. Holy crap. It's amazing.
Did it.
Sir, you have got the skills. You just pull those little free floating elements together. It's wonderful.
Awesome.
That was pretty great.
I cannot wait to hear this thing all. Man, it's so good.
Yeah, that'll be super fun to produce that one up.
Oh my gosh.
Definitely.
So sweet. And we had a good audience come out and listen to us dorking out and getting nostalgic and so much fun.
Yeah, there's one last thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
We have to pick which champion we do next.
Oh,
that's right.
Now, because next week we have another C&E original character that we've created for the game instead of one that we're adapting, I figure now is a good time to ask which of the other original characters is worthy of a song. And I already wrote this list out, thank God, so I don't have to type it in quite as quickly as I normally do. But in the meantime, while I'm putting this together, Jason, tell us what you guys have going on.
I was mentioning earlier, so on my Twitch channel, which is just my name, Jason Charles Miller. Every Monday I do a show called Miller's Music Mondays, and that's at 7 o'clock Pacific. And it's usually me and one guest, sometimes two. And we just talk about music, play songs back and forth, and just try to sort of, keep things fun. And then other times during the week, you might catch me streaming on my channel, or I seem to be I'm not on any ongoing streaming D&D shows right now, but it seems like I'm jumping in a one-off every week that's streaming or not. So just if you follow me, you'll see me post about it. So yeah, just give me a follow on Twitch, and if you're already on Twitch, you'll be easily be able to find me again. And of course, I'm here every Tuesday with you, buddy. Forever, I think, right?
Clearly,
as long as people keep showing up.
Yeah. That's right.
Awesome. So yeah, at the top of your Twitch chat, there is a poll you can vote in. You can vote for one of 4 characters for us to make a song about. 2 of them are gnomes, I realize now. I just picked the first 4 that we created.
Nice.
And 2 of them happen to be gnomes. So
the votes are pouring in here. This is good. Sweet.
Yeah.
So I'm the writer of the official Dungeons and Dragons comic. We just finished our 5th miniseries, Infernal Tides. But previous to that, Minsc and Boo have been sort of the main characters on this ongoing series of miniseries. So 5 different miniseries so far. The first 3 are collected in this awesome omnibus volume called Days of Endless Adventure, available from IDW Publishing. Really, really proud of it. If you've been reading, the current miniseries is called Infernal Tides, and it's actually a kind of loose adaptation of Descent into Avernus, the big crazy adventure book that came out last year. I'm also writing the Young Adventurers Guides. I'm sort of the architect of this series to bring new people into the hobby, and I co-write it with Stacey King and Andrew Wheeler. The crew at Jetpack 7 does phenomenal brand new artwork in these volumes, and they're built to teach people the precepts of role-playing games and the ingredients that you use to tell stories in D&D. They've been really, really popular with kids, but with all sorts of other new players as well. Over at Marvel, I'm the ongoing writer of Conan the Barbarian, and when I say that, I get a big smile on my face because how did this ever happen?
Crom.
Yeah, I've got all sorts of awesome fantasy and sword and sorcery stuff on the go. My first creator-owned comic series was called Skull Kickers, and that was sort of my love letter to D&D and Conan the Barbarian. And now I write D&D and Conan the Barbarian. And this year is actually the 10th anniversary of Skull Kickers. So we've got some exciting stuff planned, even more kind of cool announcements to come in the weeks ahead. So keep an ear out for that. You can always find me on Twitter, Facebook, and my website's also got all kinds of tutorials about how to write comic books, how narrative and publishing works, how to pitch your ideas and get your stories out there. So if you want to get a behind the scenes look at comic publishing, but also writing in general, go to jimzub.com and you'll see all sorts of cool resources there for free. And I've got an archive of my scripts on Patreon. For the price of a coffee, you can dig through over 200 scripts that I've written for comics and books. So all kinds of stuff.
Awesome.
Yeah. And
I am here on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
I forgot to mention one thing because I'm under so many NDAs. Sometimes I forget when I'm allowed to talk about something. So the latest patch of, if there's any Final Fantasy 14 players out there, the latest patch that just came out, when you fight the boss and you hear someone singing during the boss fight, that's me.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, sweet. Yeah. That's super cool.
I've been, and it was funny because like 2 days ago, someone tweeted at me in Japanese, like in Japanese kanji, and it just said, "Is this the singer in the boss fight on Final Fantasy?" And I just retweeted him and I wrote, "Yes, it's me." And that tweet has like, gosh, how many? So me just retweeting his tweet has 2,181 retweets and 3,745 likes.
Whoa!
Mainly from people in Japan.
Right?
But
I love getting tweets from people around the world. It's one of the
Yeah.
coolest things when people are showing you either like foreign versions of books you've written or they're asking you questions, and that's super exciting. It's super fun.
I love having to hit translate tweet.
Yes.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
luckily Twitter does that for you, which is nice.
Yeah, it's great. No, I get tweets, a lot of Spanish, a lot of Portuguese, stuff. Conan's really big in South America and Europe and stuff. So I get a lot of messages from that, all kinds of people. It's amazing.
It's really
very
cool.
And D&D's big everywhere now. So it's wild.
That it is. Finally,
Everywhere.
our time has come.
That's right.
So
We
yeah,
run this
just to kind of wrap things up. Where did I put that? Frickin', oh man, I got too many tabs open. Just way too many. Rhyme Zone and just documents and what's the date today? It's the 18th of August. So this has been our Bardic Inspiration episode for the 18th of August. Thank you for joining us, for participating, everybody. Truly, a lot of lines from chat this time around. A lot of memorable, just Minsc nostalgia. This show exists because of lots of really cool people. Of course, my guest today, Jim, or our guest today, Jim, my co-host and the talent of the show, Jason Charles Miller, as well as our co-producer, moderator Jay, our executive producer Erica, and our partners at D&D, Greg, Bart, Pelham, Allison, Shawling, and Lisa. So take care, everybody. Thank you for tuning in, and we will see you next week with a song for either Stammy Stokey Gackle, that's the name, or Zorbu Thunderbolt Natten. And I'm not sure how we're going to do our tiebreaker yet, but we'll figure it out. Anyways.
Wow.
Amazing.
Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Cheers.